Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to episode 38 of Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker. Tonight we're going to talk Tigers and Lions, and then I have episode 39 next, which will feature the Red Wings and Pistons, and of course U of M and MSU football. Maybe a little CMU football preview as well, if I have any further previews of the Chippewas. But first, Tigers beat the Twins badly, 13-4, to split the four-game series. They split the doubleheader last night with a win, 8-6. Today, Tigers got out to a 3-0 lead. They blew it in the third. They got their lead first in the third and blew it in the same inning. Kinsler and Ian Kinsler and Torrey Hunter each opened the scoring with RBI singles, and then Victor Martinez drove in a run with the fielder's choice ground ball. Danny Santana with an RBI double, and then Brian Dozier Danny Santana with a two-run double, and then Brian Dozier with an RBI single of his own tied the game back up at 3. But then Victor Martinez hit a long single to give the Tigers the lead back. And the Tigers scoring Ian Kinsler. Torrey Hunter went to second. The Tigers went up 4-3. And then Alex Avila grounded it into a fielder's choice that could have been a spectacular double play. Torrey Hunter scored on that play. So the Tigers got 2 runs in that 5th inning. In the 6th inning, they got two more on a Victor Martinez 2-run shot. And then in the 7th, Rajay Davis blasted a 2-run shot of his own, a home run, to make it 9-3. Kurt Suzuki would give the Twins 1 run back on a ground out. But that was all the runs the Twins could muster as the Tigers kept clawing away at Minnesota. Suarez with a single to left. Eugenio Suarez, their shortstop, got himself an RBI single. And then Torrey Hunter got himself an RBI, got himself a 3-run triple, and finished with 4 RBIs. And so did Victor Martinez. Victor Martinez and Torrey Hunter got 4 RBIs each. Tigers almost got 3 home runs. One home run away from curly fries from Arby's. Blaine Hardy had to pitch the 9th in heavy rain, but still got it done. And still sealed the win, 13-4. Max Scherzer, despite giving up 3 runs in the 3rd, got the win. Kyle Gibson for the Twins took a bad loss
going 4 2/3 innings, allowing 5 runs on 8 hits. He walked 4 and hit a batter and threw a wild pitch. And it wasn't. This game was just another one of those long games. 4 hours, 10 minutes. The longest 9-inning game in Minnesota history, surpassing the 405 against Toronto on July 25th, 1987. Oh, man. What a drag. Tigers win anyway, 13-4. It was more relaxing, I'd say. Rick Porcello will start Tuesday for the Tigers as they head back home to Comerica Park and take on the Yankees, who will start Brandon McCarthy, 8-12 and a 4.01 ERA. Porcello's 14-8 with a 3.10 ERA. The Twins will take on the Royals in Kansas City on Tuesday. So both the Tigers and Twins have tomorrow off. Today is Sunday, August 24th, 2014. The Tigers stand at 70-59. And they have a 37-30 record away. They used to do so good on the road before the All-Star break. Sorry, I feel tired. That was a yawn. Tigers stand 2 games behind the Kansas City Royals in the American League Central Division. Royals lost to the Texas Rangers in Arlington 3-1. But the Seattle Mariners beat the Boston Red Sox 8-6 in Fenway. So the Tigers remain 1 game back of the Mariners. In the American League wild card standings. The first wild card spot is in the process of being determined between the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and the Oakland Athletics. You can catch that game on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball right now. Right now, the Angels are routing the Athletics 8-0 in the bottom of the 4th. 1 out, a man on second. 3-1 count on Brandon Moss against Jared Weaver. And Brandon Moss just flied out to left fielder Josh Hamilton for the second out of the bottom of the 4th. The Yankees, meanwhile, are 3.5 back of the first wild card spot, of the second wild card spot, after beating the Chicago White Sox at home at Yankee Stadium 7-4. I have 3 injury updates. On the Tigers here. One of them being Anibal Sanchez getting near his return, and reported by Chris Ayat on MLive.com, Sanchez might return to the rotation Saturday when the Tigers take on the Chicago White Sox at U.S. Cellular Field. He writes, "There's still work to do and hurdles to cross, but Detroit Tigers manager Brad Ausmus is hopeful right-hander Anibal Sanchez will be ready to return to the starting rotation next weekend in Chicago." Sanchez through Saturday and will throw again Monday in Detroit during the team's off day. If things go well Monday, Sanchez will throw off a mound Wednesday. Oh, that's a bonus. The Tigers will determine his status at that point, but Ausmus said he cannot rule out the possibility that Sanchez could start Saturday during a doubleheader against the White Sox. The rotation has cleared up a bit after Justin Verlander threw more than 100 pitches Saturday night in an 8-6 win over the Minnesota Twins after missing his previous turn in the rotation with a shoulder soreness injury. With a sore shoulder. Here's the rotation moving forward. On Tuesday, Rick Porcello pitches. On Wednesday, it'll be David Price. Thursday, no decision yet. Friday, it'll be Justin Verlander. Then on Saturday, it'll be Max Scherzer and another guy to be called up. And then Sunday, it'll be back to Porcello. The TBD to be determined for signal for Thursday will almost certainly turn into Kyle Lobstein's first career start. Lobstein made his Major League debut Saturday in the first game of a doubleheader against the Twins. And the TBD for Sunday will either be Sanchez or a call-up from the minor leagues. The most likely candidates for that spot would be Robbie Ray or Buck Farmer. No, not those two. Not either of those two. Please, no. Who were both rocking starts this weekend against the Twins. The TBD was actually for Saturday, not Sunday, Chris. My goodness, Chris. The TBD for Saturday, not Sunday. I apologize for that. Let me log in on MLive.com with my Facebook account. You can add me on Facebook, Taylor Phillips, and follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. Like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips's Detroit Sports page, and join my group, Taylor Phillips's Detroit Sports Group. Typing up my comment here. Bear with me for just 1 minute.
The Tigers had to play today's game without their biggest star, Miguel Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera, who had ankle soreness or some type of ankle injury. So that's why Brad Ausmus delayed posting his lineup for about 2 hours Sunday morning. In the end, the one he posted didn't have Miguel Cabrera in it. Cabrera aggravated a nagging right ankle issue Saturday night while trying to beat out a double play in the fifth inning of an 8-6 win over the Minnesota Twins. Don Kelly will start at first. Don Kelly took his place earlier today at first base. The lineup was posted after the clubhouse closed to media members prior to the series finale between the Tigers and Twins, so Cabrera was not available for comment. Ausmus spoke about the issue in general terms while taking with media members prior to posting the lineup. Ausmus quoted, "It's just the idea that 2 days in a row might help. He's going to test it out. He had a little soreness coming in. As Miggy's shown, he can play through a little bit of soreness." Cabrera was expected to be able to pitch it Sunday, but the Tigers routed the Twins 13-4, as mentioned before. So Cabrera didn't even need to pinch hit. Cabrera hit into at least one, maybe two double plays, and Ausmus also quoted about that. "When he does certain things, I think it flares up and makes it more unbearable," unquote. Cabrera right now is hitting .311 with 17 home runs, 87 RBIs, and an 885 on-base plus slugging percentage this season. Those would be great numbers for almost any player in the majors, but they fall short of the numbers Cabrera has posted in his career. Cabrera has hit below .311 in just two full seasons in his career, 04 and 08, and had 44 home runs in each of the past two seasons. He hasn't had a lower on-base plus slugging percentage in a full season since 2004, his first full season in the majors. Cabrera has hit just 3 home runs since the end of June and 1 since July 25th. Ausmus said he wasn't sure exactly how far back the ankle issue goes for Cabrera and couldn't say whether it could be a reason for the relative lack of power Cabrera has displayed this season. Ausmus quoted, "I don't know. I can't answer that. I guess it's possible. To what extent it bothers him, it could be if he can't keep his weight back." Also an update on Joakim Soria, who has trended upward while working way back from his injury. His oblique injury, that is. Apologize here. Something snapped off. No. Man, this is bad. Way bad.
Joakim Soria is on the mend, but when the right-handed relief pitcher will return to play for the Detroit Tigers remains unclear. Soria threw Saturday and was slated to throw again today, according to Tigers manager Brad Ausmus, who is encouraged by the progress Soria is making. He quoted, Soria felt a lot better yesterday than he had felt previously in Tampa when he threw. In the last 3 days, he has trended upward quite a bit, unquote. Soria has been on the disabled list since August 10th due to a left oblique strain. He is eligible to come off the disabled list in time for the team's series opener Tuesday at Comerica Park against the New York Yankees, but it's unclear when he'll return. Ausmus said he wasn't sure what the next step would be for Soria if his throwing session Sunday went well. The Tigers, as we may recall, obtained Soria last month in a trade that sent starting pitcher Jake Thompson and relief pitcher Corey Knebel to the Texas Rangers, but he pitched in just 6 games for the Tigers before going on the disabled list after injuring his side in Toronto. Soria had allowed 5 earned runs on 10 hits in 5 innings of work since joining the Tigers. He had a 2.70 ERA and a 0.870 WHIP in 36 games with the Texas Rangers. So that's all for Tigers news. Let's go to some Lions news here. The Lions still hope rookie wide receiver T.J. Jones plays this year. Kyle Meinke on MLive.com writes that they place him on the PUP physically unable to perform list instead of sending him to the injured reserve. Why? It's pretty simple. They still hope to get something out of him this season. Jim Caldwell, head coach of the Lions, quoted, "You find that young guys heal pretty quickly and hopefully he'll be in a position to help us out," unquote. They selected him in the 6th round of May's draft and expected him to compete immediately for a roster spot at slot receiver. Instead, Jones hasn't put on a helmet since organized team activities, OTAs, due to lingering nerve pain in his arm. Jones spent all of training camp on that list and then was transferred Saturday to the reserve PUP list for the start of the regular season. That means he will be inactive at least the first 6 weeks of the season. Ouch. Detroit then will have 5 weeks to evaluate Jones and determine whether to activate him or end his season by placing him on injured reserve. In other words, the Lions have kept hopes alive that Jones still contributes as a rookie, though that chance seems unlikely with Detroit stacked at that position. Jim Caldwell quoted, "We'll see where he is at that time. We have a window after he's released to practice, and those kind of things to make that determination. So we'll see how that goes," unquote. Jones's transfer to the reserve PUP was among the first wave of roster moves to get to the 75 player limit that will be enforced at 4 p.m. Tuesday. The team also released offensive lineman Alex Bullard and A.J. Dalton, defensive lineman Greg Hickman and Chris Redding, tailback Stephen Miller, and receiver Connor Vernon. Caldwell would not spell out when he expects to make the final 7 roster moves to get to 75. He said it's not certain. It could happen as the team goes over the weekend. They haven't placed a definite timetable on it, but it'll get done before the deadline. And one more Lions article to read. Ryan Broyles at wide receiver continues to make roster decisions tough on the Lions. Kyle Meinke writes, he didn't play much that Broyles didn't play much early against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Broyles didn't play much early against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He didn't have a catch in any of the first 3 quarters. But then he made a 25-yarder for a first down, then a 9-yarder for a first down, then a 10-yarder for a first down at the 1-yard line, and Detroit scored the game-winning touchdown 1 play later. He now has a team-best 8 catches for 113 yards in the preseason, and 7 of those catches achieved first downs. He's impressed new coach Jim Caldwell with his ability to move the chains. Head coach Jim Caldwell quoted, "It tells you the quarterbacks like him and they can depend on him in that situation, and he delivers. But he also shows you that he's got a real knack for it because he had to operate against several different coverages. So he's got a good sense of where he is and how to get open. And then he has certainly the surge and determination to get first downs," unquote. Broyles is coming back from a 3rd consecutive season-ending injury, a ruptured Achilles tendon that ended his 2013 season after just 6 games. He's played just 16 games since Detroit selected him in the 2nd round of the 2012 draft. He opened training camp looking like he was squarely on the roster bubble, or perhaps even on the wrong side of it. He repped almost exclusively with the reserves and was on the second field whenever the team split up. But Broyles has made the most of every opportunity afforded him in the preseason. He might not be the same guy who became college football's all-time leading receiver, but showed he still knows how to gain yards after the catch and pick up first downs. This is the pros, not college football anymore, Ryan. This is the pros, the NFL. His spot isn't assured, but he has certainly looked like one of Detroit's 6 best receivers. Jim Caldwell quoted, "I think you can see that he feels good about where he is physically. I think you can see the results. He's got his explosion. I don't exactly know what he looked like up close and personal before his injuries, but since the spring you can see that he has spring in his step. He has an unusual knack of being able to split 2 defenders with speed and power. His hands are reliable, so you know he's doing a nice job," unquote. Calvin Megatron Johnson, Golden Tate, and Jeremy Ross are locks. Broyles, Kevin Ogletree, and Chris Durham seem like good bets behind the big 3. Corey Fuller has played well too, and the Lions could opt to keep him as a developmental player in place of Broyles, Ogletree, or Durham. Caldwell said the team's been pleased with Broyles,
but it has been a tough battle out there at that spot. There are a lot of other guys doing well, and the team doesn't have easy decisions at that spot. So that's episode 38 of Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker. Coming up next, episode 39 of Taylor's Detroit Sports. I'm going to talk Red Wings, Pistons, U of M, and MSU football. Maybe a little CMU football as well. So stay tuned. Come on back.